Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Coach Charlene. You're loved and appreciated. So, I just got finished interviewing Michelle Green Rhodes, and it was pretty cool indeed. It's very interesting of how when I started this podcast, I had so many self-limiting beliefs. And I say that because the dream of the podcast started in 2020 with the unfortunate murder of George Floyd, amongst the other unfortunate Black lives that were lost. But I didn't really birth this dream until 2022, July 2022, actually, to be specific. And why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because a lot of times when we get ideas, dreams, and visions, they sit in our inner being, our spirit, and we don't do anything with them because we allow ourselves to talk ourselves out of it. For instance, when that podcast idea came up, it was like, well, who's going to listen to it? Who are you? Nobody's going to say yes to you. I mean, I had all of these self-limiting, and I'm not even going to say self-limiting beliefs because I'm going to say the inner chatter. The inner critic is what it's called in one of the women in leadership classes I went through. So that inner critic, or the enemy within, is the other word that I'll use. It begins to start telling you what you can't do and who's not going to support you, and that you're not enough to do it, and that you know what, somebody, they won't come to your workshop, or they won't read your book, or they won't come on your podcast. So when I put it out there, I literally put it out there and said that I was going to interview change agents and trailblazers that dared to dream and that dared to disrupt their self and the systems that they work for. Now, that was a bold statement. I had no idea, like literally no idea, who would say yes. But the the key point that I want to make here is, if you have a dream in your heart, if there's something that you want to do, that you've been wanting to do, but you're afraid, or you're allowing the inner chatter in here, that inner critic, to dictate your thoughts, you need to grab your that inner chatter, that inner critic, grab it by the throat, by the thought, and arrest it with the inner coach in you, saying that you are enough, that you are amazing, that people will come, that when you ask, people will say yes or they'll say no. Big deal. Keep on doing it anyway. So that's my little tip for you. I want to make sure that you are not paralyzed by your own thoughts, because our thoughts can be paralyzing. If you are not careful, you will live inside of your head and not inside of your heart. So my encouragement for you today is to, no matter how long that dream has been in your heart, there is still time. As long as you have breath in your body, you still have time to manifest that dream. Just like it took me 2 years to do the podcast. And as I move, that's when things start happening. When I say yes, and I start creating the flyers and to find out how to do a podcast. And my son helped me with some things. When you say and you set an intention on something you want to do, things begin to start being drawn toward you. It reminds me of Coach Al Hollingsworth in Boss the Movement. There is the corridor principle, and the corridor principle says, as a man or woman moves, he draws the desires of his heart to them. So if I don't move, nothing is being drawn toward me. So bottom line, you got to move. That's when resources, money, ideas, courage, confidence will start coming. All right.